One of the things I see new tapestry weavers struggling with the most is shedding problems. So what's a shed and why does it matter? In tapestry weaving, there are two sheds. If you pull every other warp forward, that's one shed. That's the opening through which you're going to pass your weft. The other shed is the opposite set of warps. When weaving tapestry, our wefts move in opposite directions. When we change the number of wefts in our project or we start doing more complicated things, often we find that our wefts won't weave. That means that in order to get the weft where we want it to go, we're having to put two wefts in the same shed. When we do that, we end up seeing little dots of the warp showing. Those are often called lice. Let's look at what happens when two wefts are traveling in the same direction and we're trying to make a form. In this case, this shed is open and I have one butterfly going this direction and the next one going in the same direction. Both are going that way. Let's say I want to make something like this. This is the yellow and this is the blue. And now I want the yellow to travel over the blue and make a big step. Let's see what happens when we try to do that with everything going in the same direction, meaning we are not having meet and separate. So let's bring the blue back. And I want to bring the yellow over the blue. I want the yellow to come over here. The only way I can do that is to put the yellow in the same shed. There's no other place for it to go. So I could do this. I could beat that in and then put the yellow on top. And for this little piece from here to here, there are two wefts in the same shed. I call this a double shot some places. If you've taken classes from me, you maybe have heard me talk about double shots. I think I made that term up. I don't know. There are two wefts in the same shed. The problem with that is that as I keep going, I'm going to end up with a line of warp that's going to be visible because there's too much weft in this area. You can see there that I have a little line of warps showing. And if we do one more pick, you'll see it even better. So that creates an extra bit of warp showing right there. There are several ways to fix this problem. One of the easiest ways is just to change the direction that one of the wefts is traveling in the shed. This either means that we'll cut one of the wefts and just start it weaving in that same area in the other direction, or perhaps we're going to unweave a whole color area and start the tail from the opposite side of the form to fix our meet and separate. Traditionally, we weave tapestry in what is called meet and separate, and that means that all the wefts that are next to each other are traveling in the opposite direction. When that meet and separate pattern gets thrown off somehow, and it will get thrown off no matter what you do, we have to somehow fix our shedding problem. Let's look at fixing that problem we just saw by starting that section again with the tail on the opposite edge of the color area. Let's fix that. I've taken out the yellow and I'm going to do it now with meet and separate. I know I have meet and separate happening here because in the same shed, the butterflies are going in the opposite directions. This one is going this way, this one's going this way, and the tails are together. We could even tuck those to the back. So I'm going to fill this in and then we'll see what happens with the yellow going across the top of that blue when we have meet and separate. All right, now I have woven that yellow back in again, and you can see here that this mustard color butterfly is going this direction. Here's the end of the butterfly, and the blue is going this way. They are moving in opposition, so we have meet and separate. Let's see what happens when we go to do our form here, where we move the yellow over the blue. Now I can move that yellow over the blue. The blue is in the other shed, and I can move the yellow wherever I want to without having that two wefts in the same shed. So meet and separate allows you to keep things clean. You don't have to do any looping of wefts around the back or anything weird to get warps covered. When you use meet and separate, it means that you can move butterflies that are next to each other or wefts that are next to each other any way you want, anywhere you want to on the next pick. So here's meet and separate in action. These are coming together. And this meet and separate concept is at the heart of figuring out how to fix your sheds. This is just one of many ways that you can fix your sheds. And like I said, this is a problem that will continue to crop up. It's just something you have to learn to deal with as you're adding and subtracting wefts, creating whatever image it is you want to create. If this information has been helpful and you'd like to learn more about other ways to fix your shed in Tapestry, I have a whole class called Fixing Your Sheds. It's online, and I'm linking more information about it right below this video. Eventually, the methods needed to fix your shed as you're weaving just become second nature, and you learn to sort of think like a tapestry weaver and look ahead to how you're going to have problems and how to avoid them. Eventually, fixing or avoiding these shedding problems just becomes second nature. They will always happen as you add and subtract wefts in Tapestry, but through practice, you really learn how to set things up to minimize them. At the end of the day, practice is what's going to teach you more than anything else. So above all, just keep weaving.